What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Technical Foul Podcast. Normally, I would say, as always, you're joined by the three of us, but I'm not joined by Sanders and JP today. Instead, we have a very special guest, Darrien Starling, works with Sporting News, covers UTSA. So he's going to join and talk about UTSA, just in general about the season, and then also looking forward to this weekend and their matchup against Texas A&M, who is my team. Looking forward to that. But first, welcome, Darrien. If you want to introduce yourself, anything you want to let the people know about you, just feel free.
Yeah, first off, thank you guys for having me on. I'm really excited to do this. I've been covering UTSA since I graduated there. So I was on that original team that started the program, and I played there for 4 years. And then from there, one of my side hobbies has been covering UTSA sports, and I've done that through a couple of different, um, uh, you know, publications and things like that over the years. But recently, a couple years ago, I made a shift to do it independently. So I cover UTSA independently, but I also work with the Sport News when I cover college football a little bit more generally now. So you can catch me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time, doing my thing on there. And other than that, I'm doing my shows live on Wednesdays. But yeah, I'm excited to talk some ball with you guys.
That's like I had no idea you were on the inaugural UTSA team.
Yeah.
That's pretty fire. What position did you play?
Corner. Yeah,
Corner?
I played.
Corner.
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
it was a good time. I didn't have like a huge great career there. I
Sure.
started for about the first 4 years, but the one bit of history I do have is I caught the first interception in program history. So
Oh, that's
nobody can
fire.
take that away from me.
No, no one can. That's so dope. But yeah, first I just want to get your thoughts generally about UTSA and their season upcoming. People already know if they watched the previous video we posted, but I have them making the playoffs as the Group of 5 team. I think they're going to have a good season. I think they have a chance to knock off my Texas A&M Aggies this weekend. Owen McCown is leading the offense. I have high hopes for him. I think he's a great quarterback. But yeah, what are your thoughts for the season upcoming? I think, honestly, I'm a little higher than you are on this team. But yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, but you're a little higher. You're a little higher than I am. I'm not going college football playoff. But I mean, listen, I think that's not a crazy thing to say, right?
Sure.
And the reason I say that is because when you look at what UTSA is bringing into the season, you're bringing it back a lot of continuity on offense, right? You're bringing it back probably about, I mean, you can count about 11 guys on that offense that have started games that are coming back, right? You got Owen McCown coming back, starting running back who got an extra year. Robert Henry is coming back. He got his Owen McCown has his main targets and weapons, and David Amador and Devin McEwen, and then that tight end room, which is one of the best in the country. If I'm being completely honest, I think Houston Thomas will at some point be playing on Sundays. I just think when you bring that back into the season, it just breeds about a lot of opportunity, right? They're going to score points. That's the big thing, right? That's why the A&M game is so interesting to me, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I expect UTSA to score points because that offense has worked together for a very long time, right? They're not
Sure.
really shipping new guys in or shipping guys out. They have that core still there. I think defensively there are some worries there. Obviously, you got a lot of guys who were backups last year. They're going to be the guys that are starters this year. So that's always a little bit nerve-wracking for a team coming in. But one of the reasons why I think UTSA is poised to make a conference title run this year is UTSA's under Coach Traylor is 29-3 at home. We hadn't lost a home game since 2023. When you look at the toughest games on the schedule for UTSA from a conference standpoint, that's going to be Tulane in, I think it's October, and then it's going to be Army to end the season. And both of those games are going to happen in the Alamo Dome. So the weaker, I mean, we don't know how weak they'll be until the season starts, but the weaker
Sure.
teams on the schedule from a conference standpoint are going to be on the road. And UTSA is generally performed well on the road whenever we're following all cylinders. Another thing too to consider is the vast majority of the conference, especially on the side of the conference of where the UTSA is going to be playing this season anyway, the opponents, they're all bringing in new quarterbacks. So I think that's going to bode to our favor because we're going to have an offense that's going to be rolling all season, whereas some of these other groups are going to have growing pains throughout the season, and they're probably not going to come into their own until midway to the end of the
Sure.
year, right? So I just think UTSA has some big advantages when it comes to offensive production coming into the season, and that'll give the defense a little bit of time to get up to speed and hopefully come into their own as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jeff Traylor. I think he's one of the best coaches in the American Conference easily. I'm personally a little surprised he's not already made the jump to a Power Four team. Happy for y'all's sake, he's still around, and what he's built there is pretty cool. But I think that's another huge advantage y'all have compared to some other teams. The defense is definitely a concern. Y'all were like 100th in the nation last season in points per game given up. So probably a lot of shootouts for y'all this season. Exciting football, but does is very worrisome. Let's pivot though and look for this Saturday. Kickoff at 6 p.m. against Texas A&M in Kyle Field. I'm biased. One of the best places though to go watch a football game. It's pretty sick. What do you expect from the UTSA squad this weekend against A&M? If they're gonna pull off an upset, what do they need to do to make that happen?
Yeah, so I'm not predicting an upset, but I'll
Sure.
walk through that scenario first, right? So I think in order for UTSA to sort of have a fighting chance and actually do something to like shock the world, I think Coach Traylor's just gonna have to control and manage the game in a way that is conducive to the offense, right? I think our offense, when we're at our best, honestly, it's kind of up pace, up tempo, and like we're moving the ball and we're keeping defenses on their heels. We're not giving them opportunities to sub in and out. But I think against a team like A&M, kind of want to manage the clock a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Stretch the, make the game, keep their offense on the sideline as much as possible. If we get a stop, keeping them on the sideline and continue to chip away. I think UTSA would have to be opportunistic on defense, although I don't expect the defense to put up a ton of resistance.
Sure.
I do think that, and this is the thing about Coach Traylor defenses just in his tenure at UTSA, they haven't been really one of the top defenses ever, right? But we'd always have a dominant pass rusher, and we always have someone on the back end that gets the ball, right? So creating turnovers and takeaways would be important, and capitalizing on mistakes. It's early in the season. It's the first game of the year. A&M is liable to come in sloppy like any and every other team. So if they do make mistakes, we have to capitalize on them. Can't have any dropped interceptions. If you get them in a third and long situation, you got to find a way to get them off the field. But I think it's just going to be tough. Now, getting into like the game in general, what I actually think is going to happen, I do think UTSA will score points. I think UTSA will score more than what people are thinking. I think the spread is like, I want to say 22 and a half or so.
I think it's up to 25. I was checking before the show. So
Okay.
it's climbing, yeah.
Yeah, it's climbing. So it was, I think I did a show yesterday. It was like 21 or 22. And I actually said, I'm picking UTSA to score 24 points, actually. I think defensively, A&M is stacked. I know you're bringing back a lot of guys in the secondary, but those guys gave up a lot of big plays last year, too, if you think about it. So I think there'll just be some opportunities there for them to score. I think defensively, that's where the problem's going to be. And, A&M could be upwards of 40 whenever you come around, 40, maybe even more. I hope not, but maybe even more. I think it's going to be tough. I think the offense will do well. I think the defense will struggle. I think it's going to be hard to contain Marcel Reed. He's a dynamic quarterback with some good legs. You guys know a lot about him.
Oh, yeah.
I think UTSA needs to turn him into a complete passer and make him prove it. That's one of the big things. Like, I'd say, A&M has an awesome run game or a prospective run game. So, with a lot of those guys on offensive line coming back, it's going to be tough for us. But I'm just hoping we go out there and put up some points.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as the 20-plus point dog coming in, it's like best case scenarios, at least it's a game in the second half still, right? It's not over at that point. And if you are going to stay in this game because the defense really isn't great, you're going to have to start scoring early and keep that up. And then with the A&M rushing attack, we return all 5 offensive linemen. Le'Veon Moss is back. He's fully recovered. It actually came out. It's the funny thing with college, injury reports. They don't really tell you much. So we knew he hurt his leg last season and missed the rest of the last season. And then today in an interview, he mentions that he tore his ACL and MCL. And it was like, I had no idea. We didn't know what the injury was. But he should be back healthy from that. Ruben O is another great runner. So there's really a chance where we really don't have to throw the ball that much on Saturday against y'all just because that's the bread and butter of our team, is what Colin Klein wants to do, and then maybe parlay that into some play action. But you're 100% right. You're going to have to make Marcel Reed pass, because while we've heard all offseason, oh, he's made the leap, he's going to be a great passer this year, or at least much better. You kind of need to see it to believe it, and so hopefully you make him throw the ball, maybe, force a couple interceptions, turnovers, and stuff like that, and make it happen. But final score prediction for the game from you. What do you think?
I'm gonna go 38-24, man. I don't expect it to be close. Like that score is closer than what I think the game's probably gonna be. But I think we're gonna score. I think we're gonna score well, and that 38-24 is what I'm hopeful for. It could be 42-24, 48-24, but I'm gonna go with 38-24 A&M. But UTSA looks all right.
Yeah, I've hyped UTSA up a ton in this show. I mean, I talked about as the show started, I have them making the college football playoffs, or at least they were my pick. But I don't have them win this game. 38-20 is what I was thinking going into this.
Okay.
So y'all do cover. It could be a game late. Maybe we pull away in the second half. I am a little worried defensively for A&M, because you mentioned we weren't a great pass defense unit last year. But I'm hoping we bring all the guys back, and continuity really does matter a lot in college football. You can see units take big jumps from one year to another without really adding much talent, and the talent's really already there, so that really shouldn't be an issue. But that does have me a little bit worried, is that y'all could come in and maybe throw on us a little bit and make it interesting. Anyway,
I got a question. A question for you. Talk to me about A&M's receivers. Like what?
Sure.
Yeah, it's one of the things I haven't heard a ton about coming into this game. All I've heard about is Marcel Reed and the rushing and attack and the offensive line that you guys are bringing back.
Sure.
Could you tell me something about their receivers? What are we expecting on that side?
Yeah. Heavy in the transfer portal, we got Casey Concepcion from NC State, who was great their freshman year and then wasn't great his last year there. He only had like 400, 500 receiving yards, but it wasn't like the offense was all that great there. He wasn't in the best situation. And then Mario Craver is coming in from Mississippi State, and he was great there as a freshman. So it's a bit of an unknown in terms of we brought talented guys in from the portal. We lost our top receiver last year in Noah Thomas because he went to Georgia. So there's optimism, and we've heard that the group is improved and it's going to be better. But the last good wide receiver A&M's really had is, Anais Smith, and before that, Christian Kirk. So our receiver woes are pretty well documented. We've not been lacking for talent in that department. So I need to see it at this point. Like you can talk it up, oh, this guy's a 5-star, but at this point, yeah, I need to see it on the field to really believe in it. So there's a chance too, but like I said, if Marcel Reed has to throw the ball a bit, it's not just that he can't make the throws. Our receivers are going to have to get open, and they've not done that consistently the past couple of years. But in theory, an improved group.
We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on, giving your thoughts. Means a lot. Really appreciate it. And thanks for tuning in, y'all. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.